Good morning, teacher. My name is Mohilwa Gabo Orest, and today I'll be talking about my experience in the company where I completed my internship. I will begin by introducing the organization. Then I will describe my task during the internship. I will go through my daily schedules and talk about what I solved, the problem I was there to solve. I will also talk about my expectations before integrating the company. And then I will talk about the reality that I saw on the ground. And later on, I will probably talk about other things. I kept this video as a surprise, as I didn't really make in advance a table of content to follow. So the company is called Kudafal 68, and it's a company that helps people. It's basically an organization, not a company, because there is a difference between that. It does not make profits, and it reinvests when it has some money. It reinvests in their activities, and it helps people. In the vast majority of those people are immigrants. It helps them to integrate the French society, and it helps them by teaching them languages. We had French language, mainly French language. Many of those people are refugees and other immigrants who just arrived in France. And we had, of course, some courses about Excel, about Microsoft Word, some computer basics to help them during the workforce. And we had also some certifications where you had to pass a test in different categories. Before integrating in the enterprise, in the organization, I really didn't know very much about it. My friend has told me about it before, but I didn't really know exactly what to expect. What I knew was just it was a very small team, which was true. We were about 10 to 15 people, if I get it well. And we had to work every day. Some of us were not working every day, but in general, at least a half of the team was there every day. My expectation in the company, I was expecting to be among like 2 or 3 developers. And when I arrived in the company, I didn't really quite find those developers. There was one person who was there before me. He created some basic tools, some computer basic tools to use, but they were not completed. And he left before completing those tools. So oftentimes I had to call him and ask him what he did. And even if I had the code, sometimes when you read the code, you don't get the full overview of the thing, especially when that tool is not ready yet to work. Sometimes you don't really understand what he was trying to do, and so I had to call him, FaceTime him, and sometimes I saw him like twice in meetings. They invited him in some meetings, so I can see in a real scenario what he was trying to build and how it was intended to work and its audience. So the company, those people who was being helped by our organization had to go through some courses on daily basis. It's not every day because we had many courses with only 2 teachers, and those two teachers had to share those schedules and teach all of them. And sometimes even, and in most cases, those people were different from, what I mean is, not all those people was taking all the courses. Some people was like, needed to take like only French courses, other wanted to take like Excel courses, and even French courses were on some levels. That was like B1, B2, C1, I think, and they had different schedules during the day of the week. So when I arrived at the FAD, there were so many challenges. I had to facilitate. Let me first tell you how things were working. They had no tools to manage all those people, all those students. So they had some papers, some forms to fill up with pens, like to register those people and to register their grades when they make some assessments, and then they register sometimes in Excel, and sometimes those what they registered were not real what was on the papers, so they had some mistakes, and I couldn't sometimes figure out which one was real, and I had to go and ask them in reality, oh, why are these data not the same? And they had to explain me, and sometimes they made mistakes. They had to go through the papers and correct and see how things were. And some data was missing. Sometimes the teacher just took up the Excel sheet and filled up the data immediately without correcting the paper. And some type of assessment were not done by papers, were not done on papers, like when like speeches, the one I'm doing right now, you cannot like, it was just a grade. Just a grade, you fill up the form and it's done in Excel. So I had to collect all those data, and there was also a financial data because those courses were not free. They had to pay some fees, monthly fees, and those fees were different. So I had to make sure the tool I was creating took account those everything. And when I created that data, the challenge was, when I created that tool, the challenge was to not stop the operation when integrating that tool in the company. Because like when you need to deploy a tool like an app or a website, you have to make sure the operations does not stop. The operations don't stop. And in my case, I had to take account all those data, to import all of them into my system, so that when they use the system, they find already all those data. And it was quite challenging because there were so many papers, so many typing to do, and I think I made a lot of mistakes on my side as well. But I tried to correct them along the time. I had 6 months to do it, and I think I did a good job, and they told me that I did a good job, so that was very pleasant for me. And then the other thing to talk about is, I think I've already talked about my expectations. I don't think so. My expectations was to grow up as a software developer and learn how to code better and see how things are done in the real world. I expect in my next company, like after my master's degree, I expect to work within a group of developers. I don't expect to do things alone like I did during my bachelor degree. I hope, hopefully. So working alone was very quite challenging, and especially that some members of the team didn't even understand what I was doing. They didn't know what actually a developer is. They thought I was one guy who really understand very well Excel or Microsoft PowerPoint, or some guy who know how to plug in a printer or a projector, which I really struggle myself to do. In sometimes some of my colleagues used to ask me some tasks that I was basically not able to do, and I had to figure out. In many cases I tried to solve them and I made it, but that was not really my reason to be there. So the overall experience was good. I learned so much. I used some technologies that I had no clue that I could use, and I tried to find the solutions by myself because I was not within a team of developers to help me, and I made those solutions. And when I left the company, the tool was ready to be used, but it was not yet deployed. One of my colleagues who came later after me, we are even in the same class. I think we make the same audio. He will make the same video, I think, about the same enterprise, probably. I think he has made 2 internships. He deployed the application. And he deployed the application. Now the application works good, and he made so many changes. I have seen it, and it's pretty much good. It's better than before. So thank you so much. I think I have to conclude. I already exceeded 10 minutes. Thank you.